Explain to me why in the world Aaron Rodgers would say, yeah, I could have gone either way. Yeah, this is 50-50. You have to drag Tom Brady off a field. You have to drag Russell Wilson off a practice field. You got to drag Peyton Manning. Aaron's 50-50 guy. Why is he saying that?
Well, I don't totally believe that he was 50-50 in terms of retiring. I think that the situation for him was trying to create some leverage and trying to say that the leverage he was creating was real. And that's really the only thing that he can do to push the Packers in any direction, because they have complete control over his contract, and they have complete control of his contract, not just this year, but next year as well. But you're always worried when a guy does start bringing up retirement. And you're right with Brett Favre. That was one of the things I was concerned about, bringing a guy in. And look, I loved Brett Favre as a person and loved having him. But in bringing him in, you're thinking you've built this young roster. You've built a philosophy, an approach, and now you're going to totally change it to make sure that Brett is as successful as possible. What if early in training camp he decides he's done? What if he decides 3 games into it he's done, and now you've changed everything so dramatically to adjust to him? It's a major concern when guys start talking that way.
Yeah, Bill Belichick. Well, you told me during the break Belichick talked about this.
Well, it's actually Bill Parcells. His saying was, if a guy is starting to talk about retirement, he already has mentally, and I think that's a really valid point. There's guys who'll say, next year I'm going to retire, or this is my final season, and you sit there as a coach or a GM or owner, and you wonder, okay, are we really going to get the best out of this guy, or in his mind, is he just going to try to cruise through until he's golfing every day?
Yeah.
And look, it's true in business too. You're always worried about that.
Oh, absolutely. So Mac Jones' debut. So I said this last week. I could envision the Patriots thinking 2 things. Number one, hey, we don't have a ton of playmakers. Cam gives us some playmaking ability, especially in the red zone. We're going to be a running team this year. We don't have a lot of great perimeter weapons. We're going to screen it, run it, trap it. He's really good at that. Or I could see them saying, we don't have enough offensive firepower to overcome mistakes. Mac is a system guy. He'll manage it, get us out of trouble at the line of scrimmage, accurate thrower. I could see him making an argument for both. You're feeling this morning which way they'd lean on who starts for the Patriots.
Well, I do think the feeling that they have for Cam in the locker room is real. I think the feeling that Bill has in the locker room for Cam is real. Now, that being said, you should see a significant jump from Cam. He has a year in the system. Now he's got a training camp. You should see major progress from where he was. And if they're not seeing that, at some point you think you've got to invest now in the young kid. And as much as there's no pressure on Bill, or we say there's no pressure on Bill because of all the things that he's done, when you've got a first-round draft pick and you spent $120 million or 100 whatever they spent, which was a ton, ownership will put pressure. The fans will put pressure, and you'll feel that regardless of who you are. It's going to be really interesting to see tonight how Mac Jones does, because now he had 2 or 3 days working against the Eagles, so he has familiarity with the players. He has familiarity with the scheme. You should see some progress there as well, because that first game, nobody's game planning, and you really don't know any of those guys.
All right, I'll give you the team, the quarterback battle. Tell me where you lean. Bears, Dalton, or Justin Fields? Which way do you lean?
I lean 100% towards Justin Fields. And look, Andy Dalton had a tremendous opportunity last year to show that he could be a starter again, and he didn't get much out of it. And when you look at his track record, the last 5 years, he hasn't had a winning season. And as much as they paid him, they gave him $10 million. Yeah, that's fine. But now you've got a potentially electric young player. You're going to want to get to him as soon as you can. And this is a different type of pressure than what Bill Belichick's feeling, because this administration is on the cusp of being moved on from. Yeah. So they're going to have to make decisions a lot quicker than Bill would.
Okay, San Francisco, Trey Lance, Garoppolo, where do you lean?
It's Garoppolo to start. Trey Lance is going to play. He's going to play every single game, and I think that's smart. I think it's smart because you have 2 totally different styles of quarterback. It eats up practice time for your opponent, and you can go and do dramatically different things offensively and give the young player a real experience, game experience. And this, again, is going to be a short leash situation where if Trey Lance goes in, he plays well and is pressing. The second Garoppolo stumbles even a little bit, they're going to make that move as well.
All right. So New England, Philadelphia. By the way, there was a story earlier, Joy and I talked about this, that they would not announce Jalen Hurts was the starter. I think there's a handful of teams in the league. Jets, Zach Wilson, Jags, Trevor Lawrence, Dolphins, Tua, Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Just, it's their team. I don't want anybody else getting snaps in practice. Are you surprised the Eagles haven't said, okay, kid, we're giving you 16 games. It's your team?
No, I'm not surprised that they're taking that approach. You're trying to get to know your team as a new head coach. You're trying to get to know the players. You're trying to make sure that you understand what you have, both good and bad, from everybody on the team before you just come in and make these grand pronouncements. And the locker room's looking at you too. The locker room wants to see how you're going to handle these decisions. The locker room wants to see if when you say everybody has a chance to play, everybody has a chance to start, whether you mean it or whether it's just coach speak. So I get why they're waiting, and I understand the slow approach.
All right. Eric Mangini, great seeing you, coach, as always. Appreciate it.
So good to see you, Colin. Take care.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.